about a Dahmer, but not the normal true crime Dahmer.
When suddenly, several armed men dressed in all black stormed into their home.
Kind of scary.
Very scary. And obviously it was mostly women, because the world's harassment all falls on women.
Yeah, no one's gonna try to traffic me. I'm way too thick.
Don't go to a slumber party and be the only person who's not white there.
And lastly, check your panties.
Oh, fuck yeah. 2 for 2 today.
We're on a roll, baby.
Oh no. Do we need to do that again, or are we good?
Was everyone on point?
I mean, and I was kind of messed up, but like you're gonna line up the audio anyway, so
Yeah,
it's fine.
we're working on posts. Yeah, we're not live to tape, so we're good. Welcome to Bros of Murder, where we give you true crime cases of color, music, and we also blow your eardrums out with excessive clapping.
Sweet Junji Ito shirt, dude. I dig that.
Look at my tits.
Yeah, you guys have inspired me, and I was looking at Junji Ito shirts online. I think I found the one that you have, Robert.
He's got like the best merch.
Oh my god!
I might copy you. I fucking love Junji Ito.
His shit so pretty.
He writes manga.
Yeah, his
love
Horror manga.
Mm-hmm.
It's, horror stuff. You'd probably like it. You should pick up some of his
You'd probably like
collections
Attack on Titan if you watched it.
I have watched it. Not like it.
I don't like mech
We've
anime.
been through this so many times.
Oh, big anime recommendation. Everyone should watch Super
No.
Crooks.
You should watch Attack on Titan, all of it. Damn it.
But anyway, we're doing cold cases this episode. The colder, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Ice, baby cold.
So Kelly, on that note, you get to go first. You're the last person I heard talking. So.
All right. So, mine is kind of like on the border of cold case. I actually I went on a journey to find this because I found this list from.
You find rabbit holes all the time. It's so fun.
And then I just
You're
fall
like
right
Charlie.
down.
You're like Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, my board with red string is just off camera.
Right next to the hot sauce.
Exactly. Actually. Funnily enough, on my last Zoom meeting for work, I got a text from one of my coworkers like, I don't see your hot sauce. And I kind of picked it up and they're like, knew it wasn't far.
Very on brand.
Who was the politician who had the hot sauce in their bag?
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton. Oh, God.
I do keep hot sauce in my purse.
Pokemon Go to the polls.
Okay, pantsuit.
Yeah. Initially, it came from it was supposed to be a list of cold cases that were a group of people called the Forgotten. And so it was all of these deaths that were either just brushed aside, we knew who did it and we didn't care, yada, 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 that kind of stuff during the civil rights movement. It's actually, I think it's considered part of, there's a civil rights memorial and they aren't specifically, this list of people isn't specifically in the memorial, but they're given tribute to with the 40 people who are considered martyrs of the civil rights movement. And so that's where I found this case, this man in particular. We're talking about a Dahmer, but not the normal true crime Dahmer.
No relation?
No, I don't believe so. Vernon Dahmer was a wealthy businessman in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He owned a grocery store, a cotton farm, a sawmill, and a planing mill. He was He was of mixed descent, being the great-grandson of a slave owner and an enslaved woman. He was a pillar of his community within the Kelly settlement, which I guess was it was a community within Forest County, Mississippi. And then I guess Hattiesburg was part of that. And the settlement was named after his maternal grandfather. He didn't discriminate in his hiring practices. He served as the president of his local chapter of the NAACP, as well as starting a youth chapter for students. And in 1965, he actually kept a voter registration book in his grocery store to make it easier for Black people in his area to vote, as well as he offered to pay all of the poll taxes to those who could not afford it. Because he believed no matter who you are, everyone should be able to vote. And he did as much as he could to help people. So due to all of his work within the civil rights movement, Dahmer and his wife Ellie were under constant threat, like death threats and things from the KKK, and actually, I guess for a long time slept in shifts.
I wonder if, like, when they made those threatening calls, did they have on their hoods when they did them?
Yeah.
Even in their own home?
Under the cover of darkness. And so on the night of January 10th, 1966, their home was firebombed by the White Knights of the KKK. He and his daughter suffered severe burns, but they did manage to get everyone out of the house. He was rushed to the hospital and remained in critical condition until he succumbed to his burns and smoke inhalation. And his home and grocery store were burnt to the ground. So 14 Klansmen were charged and 4 were convicted of his murder, but were shortly thereafter pardoned. So, and then in the 1990s, his case was reopened, and the Imperial Wizard at that time of the Klan, his name was Sam Bowers, was convicted of ordering Dahmer's murder in 1988, and where he remained in prison until he died.
I would never get over how dumb the Klan's names are for shit.
It sounds like a joke,
Wizard.
like a fucking wizard.
Don't they have one that's like a Cyclops, like Grand Cyclops? Isn't that a thing?
I have no idea.
I hate it. It's like, okay, we get it. You play Elden Ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like if they weren't people who like killed people, they would be kind of hard to take seriously. You know what I mean? Like your hoods look stupid. Anyway.
I'm just imagining Kelly like in the civil rights movement. It's like your head looks stupid.
Your hood doesn't even match your like gown. What the fuck?
Like, damn, she got
Why is it 2 different whites?
You know what, boys, let's pack it up. We lost this battle.
And it's weird too that the main ones wear red. Kind of like makes me think of like the cardinals in the Catholic Church. I don't know.
Oh, true.
Oh, wow.
You ever thought about that?
You might have been there.
I did now.
I'm adding another little string onto my conspiracy board.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, the Klan hated Catholics, so I don't think, I think most of them were Protestant.
Yeah.
But, so his family spent a long time fighting for justice and recognition, and in 1992, his wife, Ellie, actually became the election commissioner for Forest County.
Oh, wow.
Kind of, continuing his work. And today there are many tributes to Dahmer in the town. He has a street and a park named after him. A bronze statue of him now stands outside the local courthouse, and in Mississippi, January 10th was designated Vernon Dahmer Day. So
that's awesome.
But yeah.
I mean, shit. I mean, he was putting in work. Like he was out here hitting the pavement. Mm-hmm. No wonder he was assassinated by the KKK.
Yeah, and I just can't imagine the kind of courage it takes to know that that's the kind of threat you're under all the time. Like to have to sleep in shifts because you're afraid of people attacking your home.
Just because you're trying to make sure people can vote.
Yeah.
Love America.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll go next.
So that might. Shut the fuck up. No. Why do you talk so time? I don't say much, but when I do say something.
Hey.
I said, no, my case is about Vanessa Honey. And this one, it wasn't cold until it got cold. And then it got cold. We'll get into it. So now, on October 23rd, 2012, in Stone Mountain, Georgia, a couple was enjoying their evening in their apartment, waiting for their friend to come over and to spend some time with them. When suddenly, several armed men, dressed in all black, stormed into their home, jumping the couple and tying them up in their bathroom with extension cords. While they're listening to their home being ransacked by these men, an unsuspecting guest walked in on a robbery, and that's when things took a very, very, very dark turn. So we're going to backtrack a little bit. After coming home from her shift at a local clothing store, 18-year-old Vanessa Honey told her mother, Flora, that she was going to walk to a friend's apartment to hang out for a bit. Unbeknownst to her, she was walking into an armed robbery. When Honey walked into the apartment, she immediately turned around to run away, and as she did, one of the armed men shot her once in the chest and then once in the back. So the way it kind of was described is it seemed like she was shot in the back and kind of did a turn around from the forest and then got shot again in the chest, and that's when she fell on the ground. The couple later told authorities that they could hear her screaming from the bathroom, and then that's when they knew it was Vanessa. The men fled the scene, but not before taking her phone, fearing for their safety. And I don't know why they took her phone. The couple kind of stayed hidden for a while, just making sure that the people were gone before emerging from the bathroom, untying themselves, and calling the police. By the time police got there, Honey was dead, and her phone was found shortly later, a mile down the road, broken. I don't know why they decided to break it, or if they took it in the first place.
I wonder if they knew her.
Or maybe just they were worried that she didn't fully die and she was going to call the cops.
Yeah, but she still got two other people in the bathroom tied up with extension cords. That's not going to hold them forever.
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
I think it was more just in a moment thing, because they were obviously there for money and shit. So I think they just ran her pocket, then realized we can't do nothing with this phone,
which is
just chucked it.
Weird when you think about it, considering phones have GPS and you can track that shit.
That's probably another reason why they tossed it a mile away, because they realized they can just find us with the cell phone, get rid of it. It's 2012.
Well, and also I know people steal cell phones because they're worth $1,000, but I don't think I've ever seen just stacks of cell phones at pawn shops. Where are you selling them?
Well,
I think probably
online, eBay, and shit like that.
Yeah, because you could unlock them, and then once they're unlocked, you can sell them. Especially if you have the programs to do it,
to
the jailbreak. Yeah, the jailbreak your phone. Yeah.
So my girlfriend went to this festival in Florida, and her friend got her phone stolen, but the police found the girl who was stealing phones, and she had a bag full of phones. People had pictures of it. They're lining out stacks of phone on the cop car. This girl was just pickpocketing people like crazy.
I mean, you just hit grand larceny easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, she had a bunch of phones. It was crazy. But yeah, don't steal phones.
10 phones. That's 10 grand.
That's easy money. Yeah.
Do people actually get that much though? Because I feel
no.
You trade it in, you get $200.
When they're charging you, they're going to charge you the value of the item, not how much you could have gotten for it.
So she's getting put away. she's doing some time. So now 8 years had passed before any arrest was made. That arrest being 34-year-old Donald Ash. He also lived in Stone Mountain, Georgia. His charges included concealing facts, making false statements, and second-degree murder. 4 months after his arrest, he was released from jail after posting bond. According to his bond conditions, he must wear an ankle monitor, remain at home except for going to his attorney or doctor visits or to church. The police have been hesitant about how they found out Ash was one of the culprits and why it took 8 years for them to make an arrest. They did say that they believe that multiple people are involved, obviously, because the couple claimed that there were 7 people robbing them. But more arrests haven't been made yet, and they're hoping that they can make more arrests in the future. So I want to put that information in the show notes because they are looking for the other several people because Ash hasn't said anything. So yeah, that's my cold case that took 8 years to get one person arrested, but still haven't gotten everyone involved. Because he's not the sugar man, apparently. That's why he only got second-degree murder. He was just a culprit and helping whoever did it. But yeah, that was my case.
Cold cases suck.
Yeah, there's no way.
They're my least favorite. I've complained about them so many times. They're my least favorite because
it's one of those things where I know that if what value we can actually provide as a podcast, if we could actually help anyone, it would be through cold case and getting
information
to come forward with more information, but very unsatisfying. Battle, do you want to go next, or should I?
Mine is an update. I'll go last because mine is an update on one of the cases that I've covered twice already.
Is it a good update?
Kind of.
Oh, we'll say.
Is this the one that I feel like you said something about it already?
Yeah, I did say something about it. I'll keep it a secret. Yeah, you go next, Robert. Please.
So
stay cute.
So my case comes out of Georgia and is around Tamala Horseford, who was
I remember this
case.
Yeah,
did we cover this one?
Like when it first happened years ago, we initially covered it. It's been forever. You're fine.
Okay. So we don't have many updates, but we've got a few based on. So this happened in 2018 in Georgia. A woman who, loved by the community, mother of 5, volunteered at her school and in her community. She went to a party with a bunch of white women in a very traditionally conservative area of Georgia. And it was just a slumber party celebrating one of the women's birthdays.
First off, adult slumber parties to me screams.
I do remember this.
Adult slumber parties to me scream orgy. If not that, then something weird is happening.
I would have an adult slumber party.
I feel like I still do that. I go over to friends' houses and we're like, "Hey,
I don't call it
not have to deal with an Uber or something, you know."
But I don't call it an adult slumber party.
Make a blanket fort.
I just call it hanging out.
Yeah, it's true. Just me passing out on your couch, typically.
Yeah, that's
getting drunk.
Yeah, that's just me getting too many White Claws in, and I can't go home now.
So throughout the course of the night, there was drinking, there was smoking of marijuana. It's very difficult to say who engaged in what because obviously afterwards everyone's like, "Oh no, I wasn't smoking. I just had something to drink." Or no, I wasn't.
That's how I talk when I'm defending myself to you. Oh, you've got this all wrong.
Sorry,
I'm not doing that. That's exactly how I defend myself.
Yeah,
I am not a crook, man.
So they woke up the next morning and Tamala was dead, face down in the backyard. And there was blunt force trauma around her, head and neck, and then it caused a laceration in her chest.
Jesus.
So she was right next to a second-story balcony. So the running theory that people at the party immediately started pushing to the police was that, in the middle of the night, she must have gone out there, fallen off, and died. So the part of this that is a little bit confusing is that there are kind of videos and Snapchats and stuff from that evening where you see Tamala hanging out, happy, laughing with everyone. In none of those videos does she look so inebriated that she would
wander off of
collapse off the side of a 4-foot ledge or railing. So it wasn't like there was no railing or anything. A drunk person just falls into the railing, in my opinion. I'm speculating, but at 4 feet, that's pretty tall. I don't know. But so the police didn't exactly do a great job collecting evidence. They took the body from the scene of the crime and then did a toxicology on the body. And they did find that she had a blood alcohol level that would put her about 3 times the legal limit to drive, and that she had smoked marijuana. But a lot of criticism for the case comes around, okay, so why didn't you pull toxicology report for everyone there? Why didn't you leave the body there and do a full investigation? Also, in the course of this kind of investigation, there were some Snapchat logs that were screenshotted and were reported.
Were some of these women cop wives too? Didn't some of them have connections to law enforcement area?
I believe so.
This is sounding very similar to that case that I covered of the girl who was killed by her Bumble date.
It's so scary.
What was very sus to me is that they all had the same story ready. Oh, she just got drunk and fell off. I was
yeah. Well,
it hurts much.
A single story fall. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So there were screenshots of Snapchat messages that Christian sent to his girlfriends. There were screenshots of Snapchat messages that were received in a message sent in the morning of November 4th, which was when she had died. And it was joking about notifying Horsford's husband of her death. And the message read, "Hello, sir. I know we've never met, but I'm here to tell you that your wife and the mother of your 6 children is dead. Oh, yes, I'm happy to report that she was really, really drunk, landed face down in the backyard, and I know you have fond memories enjoying corralling these 6 boys who are now going apeshit.
What?
What the fuck?
So that message, I don't know if they've actually tracked where it came from, and that very clearly shows that there was like an intent to murder this person, or that
yes.
perhaps like after she'd gone to sleep, or after the last video of her being happy was taken, she was like forced more alcohol or something, and then thrown off a balcony. From what I could find, there wasn't any evidence of like defensive wounds on her, like she had been like scratching at someone and had, you know, DNA under her fingernails or anything like that. So that was on November 4th. On November 19th, that same person had messaged the father again. Greetings from racist.
So they actually
cracker.
sent that to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't know who
Worse.
sent it yet, right? Imagine saying that to somebody. Like the audacity.
Yeah. I just
Like,
I don't
at that point, just say nothing. Like,
how do you pretend to be someone's friend and have that amount of animosity towards them?
or just that amount of like disconnect at their death.
Mm-hmm.
The same night you were hanging out with them. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like the thing that I was also from like our lynching episode, but also the list that I was talking about. It's like the level with which we are comfortable with just absolute fucking cruelty to other people. Like, it's just, I don't know.
it's like for some
Astounding.
people, it's past being like desensitized to it, and it's like, oh no, you just have malice. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like the person who sent the Snapchats was a person named Christian. Responding officer, Michael Christian. So this was the update from 2021.
So the husband didn't know who sent it to him? Unless I guess they sent it from her phone.
So 2 individuals who left their positions in local law enforcement in the wake of Horsford's death, one of which was party attendee Jose Barrera and responding officer Michael Christian. So they were ex-police officers who were involved in the investigation, and one of them was at the party.
okay.
So Michael Christian is the man who sent the Snapchats. So the first one going to the father of the 6 boys and widower, saying, "I'm happy to tell you that she died last night." But he followed those up several days later with a message saying, "Greetings from racist cracker bastard murder, covering up land. How are you?"
Jesus Christ.
It's a nice rainy day for digging shallow graves by the roadside.
Oh,
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Getting his ass beat. What the fuck?
And so there was a follow-up in 2021 because, you know, during the Black Lives Matter kind of surgence in the US of people asking for racial justice, this case got brought up a lot of like, hey, whatever happened to her? The only black woman at this party dies, and then, you know, what's going on? So that's when they, you know, found these extra Snapchats. They found that there were police involved with the party. They found that one of the ex-cops had been messaging this widower on Snapchat saying, you know, very racialized language, talking about how happy they are that this person died.
Inappropriate things you say to someone grieving.
Yes, and that has not prompted any charges or renewed investigation.
I mean, just those like Snapchats alone, given the context, should have some kind of charge associated with it.
There is sus things.
That is hate speech. Like,
yeah.
Well, and also it kind of makes sense why the responding officer handled the case the way they did. They scooped up the body, sent it away for autopsy, didn't investigate the scene because there was a cop at the party, and they were clearly trying to cover up and, you know, back their friend.
Taking back the blue to a very expected level.
Yeah. So this is a cold case in the fact that there is no official charges. We don't know who did it. But I would say it's a warm case because all the murderers are at that party, or one of the murderers is at that party, so we know who did it, or we have a list of people who could have done it.
Yeah.
The fact that like I'm sorry, but like how is it that
never be sorry, Kelly.
How is it that like there are that many people there, and nobody has any information? Nobody knows what happened.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm
Well-
saying? Like,
everybody was asleep, you know.
I mean, with my case, I'm gonna do it's like kind of the same. No one really knows,
Well,
and there was
we-
a shit ton of people.
I just
We've
don't know
covered a
how
few
that many people
cases
can be
where-
complicit like that.
Because they want to protect each other.
They don't view someone as a person or as human,
Yeah.
that they were
Mhm.
in the right. But that's unfortunately where the case ends, is just there has been no justice and no further investigation. Reopening the inquiry is not likely.
Oh wow.
That sucks.
So last but not least, Sir Battle of the Field of Lawrences. You want to take it away?
Yes, I will actually. Don't call me Lawrence ever. Melinda does that. Sometimes I'm like Melinda, and she looks at me. She's like Lawrence. And I'm like, what? Did you just call me? I hate that so much. And she just starts laughing because she knows how much I don't like it. But anyway, whatever. What's up, guys? It's me, Battle. Friends, I should say friends.
What's your
So
middle name?
I kind of have two middle names.
One's asshole.
Yeah, you guys,
It's hyphenated.
I am. I could see it being asshole. By the way, everyone, you would never want to be in a group chat with me because I am so short with. I mean, I'm short. That's a joke. But like my responses are typically extremely short, and
It comes
Yeah.
out as very rude.
I'll like
super
do a
passive
long, like soft text message asking a question, then Battle will
I'm
just
like,
go back. No,
No.
period.
Like, I mean, I just get straight to the point. Like,
Like the one time Kelly was like, "Oh, we should do episodes on gangs." Battle was like, "No."
No.
And then,
I don't say it
Did I
like
say
that.
something wrong?
and then a couple days later, he was like, "Oh, I was kidding. No one knew that."
Like, yeah, like it's easier
No.
just to talk to me on the phone versus like if I answer my phone, I have like 200 missed calls because
answer
sometimes
me.
I don't even answer my phone calls. But anyway, sorry everyone. Okay, my case. July of last year, I gave an update case about Alonzo Brooks. And before that, I gave a whole episode on Alonzo Brooks. But the case of Alonzo Brooks is pretty sad and tragic, and it has taken a very long time to get any type of updates. So, like before, if you are unfamiliar with Alonzo Brooks or his tragic story, I'll give you a quick snap of what happened. In 2004, Alonzo went to the party in the middle of nowhere with his friends, and at this party there were people that were using racial slurs, which they found to be super appropriate, but we all know that they were inappropriate. Alonzo knew that it was, and he just left it as whatever. He let it roll off his shoulders because that's the type of person he was. He didn't like to sweat the small things.
And also, what are you gonna do in a room full of
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
sometimes for your safety, you gotta just be like,
outnumbered?
Yeah.
You gotta sit there and be like, "Ah ha ha."
Yeah, like me, no, and just walk away. No, but so after some time at this party, Alonzo was having a good time and he didn't want to leave. However, his friends wanted to leave. So naturally, Alonzo insisted on staying and was like, hey, you can go on and go ahead, leave if you want to. I'll be fine. And that was the last time that any of his friends saw him or heard from him. And the next day, Alonzo went missing. After searching for about a month, they found his body in a creek bed and some of his personal belongings along the road because apparently they framed it as he left this party and walked and threw his shoes off and stuff. But that was not like him at all.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would you just throw your shoes off, walk home?
Yeah.
from a party?
You're in the middle, like miles and miles from home.
You're in BFE, like you're in the middle of rural, I think it was like Kansas or something like that. It was like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So why I say this case was unfortunate? Unfortunate because it turned into a cold case. They did an autopsy, and because of how long his body was near water, there was no good information on how he truly died. His family had no sleep. They had a terrible time coping because they really had no good answers. However, in 2019, after a release of a Netflix documentary, the internet went crazy with this case. People started to do their own investigations, what led to the Department of Justice to reopen the case. Not only that, his body was exhumed and they did an autopsy. Well, another autopsy, and they ruled his death a homicide. The autopsy is key here because some new information came out about one of his autopsy. So the first doctor, Dr. Eric Mitchell, did an autopsy and said they could not figure out what the cause of death was. However, for Dr. Mitchell, his qualifications and testimony was under question and review by a defense attorney. This is new. And it had to do with Dr. Mitchell's past. So this doctor had a story written about him back in 1993, and the findings about this doctor were completely atrocious. Apparently, Dr. Mitchell would take organs out of individuals without any type of consent from the individual's family, and he would improperly store these body parts in his New York office. Yes. So everything that the doctor did was almost dismissed. Now back to Alonzo.
Wait, I'm not. What the fuck?
Yeah, so like this doctor was apparently really creepy and did some pretty crazy things to bodies of people that were deceased.
Was it for money? Like, was he selling organs?
They didn't say why in like some of the articles I read. They just said that he was taking body parts, and I think he was probably selling them or using them at a practice or giving them to a practice.
That's so upsetting. What the fuck?
Yeah. So in 2020, I said that the body was exhumed and it was found that it was a homicide. And on the line, there was $100,000 as a reward. And the FBI was hoping to get some information that would help lead to a conviction. The lead investigator of this case, Lena Romana, stated that witnesses have all grown up. They moved on, whether that's moved on from the situation or just grown up in life. And that in time and distance sometimes allow people who may have been nervous or too young to know to come forward back then, given the opportunity to come to us now. She also stated that this case is still much a priority for her. She wouldn't give too many details on how much process they have made over the last 2 years, or if there are any suspects. What is known now about that night that some individuals actually spoke to investigators and gave them some information. And what they told them that was that there was actually another party that same night that was not far from the first party that Alonzo was at. It was stated that he was also at the second party. There is not much information about the second party, and the FBI is still looking to speak with different people who attended either party. Not many people have come forward, and it is still a cold case. And just for reference, everyone, I am definitely going to keep following this case as more things come out to figure out exactly what happened to him. And that is my case. I guess update to a cold case.
That was a very nice update.
So the new autopsy basically just determined that, yes, it was homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And go ahead.
But they still don't know the cause.
They don't know the cause.
But I think is anyone surprised that it was a homicide? Like the whole case reeked of a murder.
I'm sorry if everyone could hear me cough randomly. I got sick.
I'll fix that in post.
Yeah.
Also just a good reminder, if you ever go out with your friends, stay with them. Yeah. Even if they're like, I want to go home early with your friends.
And if they don't want to go, like if someone wants to stay, like I will definitely stay. I'd be in a bad mood, trust me. But I would stay just to make sure that they're okay.
Until you want to leave.
Oh yeah,
and I would not let anyone leave with someone else. Like, you're coming home with me. Yeah. You're not going home with
especially if it's like an outdoor,
if you're mad at me, if you're gonna burn a bridge,
Or also do what me and my friends do. Always share your locations, even if you're switching locations.
Yes.
You make sure we always in a group chat, we ping our locations. So
Robert can't do that. He has an Android.
Well, Robert, I'm sorry to say you are voted off the island.
Oh God! Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, I share my location with a few people.
Yeah, I'm always, especially when I'm thinking Ubers and stuff, because I'm always like, what if this man?
Although it doesn't always work. So there's also that, because I know someone was watching me when I was on a date once, and it said I was home the entire time.
Oh,
Which is
no.
fucking weird. Yeah. I was like,
That's not
oh,
good.
well, if I had died, I guess I would have been fucked.
Thank you, Apple.
Yeah.
Did you guys have anyone in your life who, like, Apple did that update that would notify you if there are air tags connected around you, and like a bunch of
remember-
people found them on their cars?
No.
I
So
remember
like
hearing
Apple
about that,
produces these like little stickers that are air tags that
Yeah.
will track an object's
Mhm.
location.
Yeah.
And they did an update that would let you know if you had any like air tags in your area that you weren't yours or weren't already connected to your phone. And a bunch of people found out that they had air tags that were attached to the outside of their car or like into their wheel well and stuff.
Ew, people are
That they
following
never
them.
put there. Yeah, who knows? Maybe like a jilted X or something. Or a lot of people were speculating it was like a trafficking. They had marked people that they were going to try to like snatch.
That's kind of scary.
Very scary. And obviously
Yeah.
it was mostly women because the world's harassment all falls on women.
Yeah, no one's gonna try and traffic me. I'm way too thick. Anyway, that was the episode.
I don't like him.
But yeah, that was the episode. Enjoy the music. Make sure you check out our social medias, the YouTube. I was notified that I have to invite people on Discord, so I'll make sure to put that in the show notes. You can join the Discord and show me
Yeah,
your
just put a
memes.
link.
Yeah, I didn't know that until they told me. Kelly and
Yeah.
Battle. I was just gonna say, hey,
And you have to make it
figure
like
it out.
unlimited amount of time, because most of the time, like Discord links, they can expire, but you have to
Oh,
make
shit.
it never
Honestly,
expire.
though, you could make it a shorter period, and it's just like, hey, our
Ooh,
episode
the
drops this day.
exclusivity.
You have 7 days to join the Discord, and then
Be
after
there
that,
and
you
be
gotta wait till the
square.
next time we drop the link.
Yeah, we
Oh my gosh.
exclusive at Club
This
Bros.
is for the people who are paying attention, who actually like us.
Finger on the post.
Who make it to the end of our episodes? You better make
Yeah.
it to the end of this episode.
I mean,
Or
it's a
else.
podcast. Come on, you're already washing your dishes or some shit.
Yeah, you're already kind of sort of working out.
Yeah. I see you. You're putting in effort. Good for you.
You showed up. You're getting the most out of your membership.
You know, the lawn's looking great. Keep it up.
I feel like we learned a few lessons today, right?
Yeah, check your air tags. You know,
Don't go to a slumber party and be
Check
the
it.
only person who's not white there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or a regular party.
Don't use Snapchat. And lastly, check your panties.
Check
Kiss
your
from
panties.
I don't wash my jeans.
Kisses from
Kisses from the
homies.
homies.
We now have breaking news.